This conference will now be recorded.
Well, welcome everybody to the 10th CISA Club book meeting here on April 12th. And we've all seen this slide before. It's kind of old hat here, so I won't spend any time on this one. Our big announcement, if you hadn't already heard, Paul Farrell took his test a couple weeks ago and he passed. And just the day before yesterday, Sean took his, and congratulations to Sean. Sean, do you have any words of wisdom and encouragement for everybody?
Yes, the agreement is not to talk about any of the content or anything, so I certainly can't do any of that. But I'd certainly recommend, the one area I wish I knew more about was the role of the IT steering committee and how it related. I would have spent more time reading about them.
Yeah, when we were on the earlier domains about governance, that was kind of one of the things that kept coming up. And I remember saying, just, you know, there's a lot of stuff on steering committee. I remember that. And that was the, I think that governance chapter was real heavy on the steering committee stuff. And for me, that was the toughest domain in the material. Did you finish within time, or did you take the entire 4 hours or whatever it was?
I did it in 97 minutes. I think I probably, out of the 150 questions, about 20 of them I flagged for review. And then, so in that 97 minutes, I went through all those again and, you know, just plugged in best answer and walked away. I didn't spend time killing myself. On some of the questions, I'm not sure there was a correct answer. So it wasn't high quality, I don't think. And there was some bad grammar in some of it.
Yeah, and that test, when you get the result, the little part that says pass is certainly not in a very impressive font. So it was kind of like, what does this mean? Kind of at least for me, I was kind of pausing and didn't understand what I was looking at. And then I saw the word pass there and breathed a sigh of relief.
Yeah, a tentative, preliminary pass, official results in 10 days.
Yeah, I didn't like how you couldn't really walk out of there with any proof that you passed it either. You know, they said, okay, you'll be getting an email. And I wanted to take a picture of the screen, and they wouldn't let me do that. So.
You don't believe it?
All right, so we're in the domain 5. Oh, go ahead, Sean.
Nothing. Nope. Good. Go ahead.
Okay. So we're in domain 5 now, protection of information assets. I actually think this is one of the easier domains. And so hopefully everybody's kind of caught up on the reading or thinking about reading. And there's the page assignments in the Peter Gregory book and the ISACA practice questions book. And then here's the chapter headings within domain 5, kind of the general areas: information security management, logical access controls, network security controls, environmental controls, physical security controls, auditing, asset protection. And we can get right into some practice questions here. Question number 1, an IS auditor reviewing the configuration of a signature-based intrusion detection system would be most concerned if which of the following is discovered?
This is a good one. A is a common scenario. Lots of people have auto update turned off. I guess maybe that's more in IPS where it makes a difference. In IDS, it's just gonna, a new signature won't bring down your production app. So maybe A, because it's IDS.
Yeah, I think the key word here is signature based.
Okay.
Would imply A.
There you go. I don't think this is an example of a question that's a little dated maybe. How many people are still running things in IDS mode? I know there's some, but it's certainly less. You're not getting much value.
Yeah, we've got some some more dated questions coming up too. Question 2. Which of the following best provides access control to payroll data being processed on a local server?
I like Charlie, Clark.
Yeah, I think they're keying in on local server here on this question. And payroll data.
I'd say I'll take a stab. Either C or A, so I'll probably go with C.
Hey, Sean, you have your sound effects ready?
Yeah. Oh, I don't have a buzzer one. No. Oh.
Hey.
Yeah, would logging. Yeah, logging, I guess, wouldn't be an access control.
Right. You ready to move on?
Always.
An IS auditor has just completed a review of an organization that has a mainframe computer and 2 database servers where all production data reside. Which of the following weaknesses would be considered the most serious? I think we've got 4 evils here, and one of them is more heinous than the rest of them. I think I heard a B. Was that Mark?
I'll go with B, but I really don't know the flavor of the questions. It depends on, I guess, the context of how they're trying to pose the question. Meaning, is it the same controls for both the database and? Either way, it's probably still B. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I think this is a good example of a question where none of the answers is like patently wrong, and so you really need to choose the best one. Mark is ready to sit for the exam.
On that topic, as soon as I saw that most in that question, that triggered that there was a lot of questions like that, where a list of bad things and you had to pick the most. So that was a common format.
Yeah, I think one of the recurring themes, and I think Sean will agree with this, is that you need to read those questions carefully, because there will be like a real key word that changes the direction of the question.
And it's not something you can study for. That's just knowledge, I think, on some of those.
Yeah. An organization is proposing to install a single sign-on facility giving access to all systems. The organization should be aware that
guess it's A, maximum unauthorized access if a password is disclosed. The trade-off being everybody can have better passwords because they only need to memorize one.
I don't know. I mean, that kind of doesn't go with those single sign-on unless their plan is to just have one big shared credential. Is that what they're talking about? I would say B, maybe.
You ready for the big reveal? Okay. Sean is just showing off now.
I don't understand that question, though, I guess. I would not. Seems like if you're going to a single sign-on, it doesn't mean that all the users would have the same rights necessarily.
No. Yeah. I think what it is, Mark, is if I get your password, I get access to the payroll system, the database system, this system, and that system, and this system. Everything you have access to with one password. So that it's kind of
Got
the
it.
eggs in one basket. But the trade-off is your password will be better and you'll protect it better when it's worth so much more, and you won't have a lot to memorize. Is the trade-off.
I
Right?
got it. Okay. Makes
Yes,
sense.
actually, and on this topic, the concept of a new concept to me that I wasn't even familiar with, called reduced sign-in, is it must have been 5 times in the test. And what reduced sign-in means is centralized authentication using LDAP or Active Directory or whatever. But single sign-on means you only log in once, you type your password once, and you have access to everything. Reduced sign-in means the same password, but you got to enter it individually at each system, which is kind of how online operates with all its systems, where you have to authenticate at each one, even though it's your Active Directory. That's reduced sign-in.
That's interesting.
An IS auditor reviewing the log of failed login attempts would be most concerned if which of the following accounts was targeted. Hopefully this should be a gimme.
I mean, all of them. But
yeah, I don't see it.
Let's see. I mean, they're all bad, unless they are somehow trying to say the data administrator is some other, actually has access to the data versus the other folks. I mean, that's the only one that's kind of not like the others.
I would say look at it from, you're looking at failed login attempts and which account would a bad guy most want to get his hands on.
I would say they're all bad.
Yeah.
If you're thinking keys,
go with system administrator, then I guess. I don't know. Network? You get on the firewalls? I don't know. Yeah. They're all bad. Okay, lock that one in. Ready.
All right, you got to review that.
The answer doesn't even make sense. System admin accounts can be locked out and are. Anyway, bad question.
Oh, they're saying basically the first line is that, I guess, does CISA recommend on a system admin accounts to not lock them out for a period of time, but until another administrator can unlock them? So that's why they're saying it's not possible to lock that one out, or it is possible to lock it, but not unlock it. But they're saying that was the answer. So you're right. I don't get their answer. I don't get it.
A B2C e-commerce website, as part of its information security program, wants to monitor, detect, and prevent hacking activities and alert the system administrator when suspicious activities occur. Which of the following infrastructure components could be used for this purpose? I thought this one was a little bit tricky because one of the words that they've got in there.
Monitor, detect, and prevent. I would say it's A.
Yeah, you got it right. What I didn't like about this question is they're using the word prevent. And when they're saying IDS, that's not preventing. So that's where I was kind of stumbling a little bit, or didn't like the wording of that question so much. But you got it right.
Good point. Good point. Is that their definition of IDS? Only for monitoring and no, prevention?
But on the question they said prevent, so that's why I didn't.
Yeah.
That was not a great question.
So in the book it talks about IDS being for monitoring only. Maybe based on the alert they could attempt, but then again they're already in there at that point, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of after the fact. So yeah. I think it's kind of good, healthy to have bad questions or questions that don't really make sense. Which of the following best determines whether complete encryption and authentication protocols for protecting information while being transmitted exist?
About running a sniffer trace and taking a look at it, the traffic.
Well, I'm gonna guess it's B or D, because the other two don't make sense.
Pretty good. I think the explanation here is pretty good. We absorbed that one.
Yeah.
Which of the following concerns about the security of an electronic message would be addressed by digital signatures?
They have to be delta, alteration.
Yeah, I think that one's kind of a gimme. I think you will see something similar like that on the test. You ready for the next one?
Shoot.
Which of the following characterizes a distributed denial of service DDoS attack? This is one that's probably easy, but you need to make sure you need to read each choice carefully.
I'm just eyeball them. I'm not gonna read them carefully, but I'm gonna guess A. So, fail. I'm gonna regret not reading the rest of them. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just on that one, just make sure they're talking about DDoS versus DOS. To change the meaning of it.
I would just like to thank Sean for giving other folks on the call a chance to answer.
I'm just here to fill the blank spots.
Yeah, thank you. Because we're all. Which of the following is the most effective antivirus control? I didn't like this question either. This is kind of another one of those things that I think is a bit archaic in terms of the way they worded it.
Most effective antivirus control: disconnect the system and disable all inputs of any data to it. Well, can't restoring system. I mean, D. Even though
you
a lot
are
of times it doesn't work, but yeah.
Well, you're right. But when I read the first thing I did when I read that question, when I said an online antivirus scan, I thought it meant one of those like free things that you find some little like web tool that tries to also download a bunch of junkware onto your computer.
Registry. Clean your registry.
Exactly. That's what came to mind when I first read that question. But they're basically, I think what they really mean is that the service is running is all they're trying to say. And so from that point, they're like talking like pre-1995 wording there.
Yeah, I didn't even read that word. I kind of skipped over it. I guess I need to slow down.
Yeah, other than that little kind of stumbling block, I think fundamentally it's an easy question. The wording can really kill you on these things. A digital signature is created by the sender to prove message integrity by.
I'm going to let Marianne answer this one. Where is Marianne?
Okay, thanks.
I'm just kidding. I thought you were like it was a fake login, one of those like hackers. Just log in.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer it, Marianne.
Thank you.
Unless you want to. I just want to say hi, by the way.
It's been reached out to wanted to say hi to you as well.
Yeah. Well, I probably picked you the hardest question of the day, so I'll let you have this one.
Yeah, it probably is. You had a 25% chance.
I know. Let's see. I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah, this one's too hard for me to read. Why do they have 2 letters on each one?
I don't know. That's the little site we kind of pilfer these from. This source always has that. I don't know why.
I mean, I would have to say A or D, but A maybe?
I think whenever you
I like
talk
A.
about digital. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, sorry, I definitely like A. And if you want to step through it, so the sender's private key, only the sender is going to have the private key, so he encrypts it. And what can decrypt it is the sender's public key. Everybody's got it. So the receiver gets it, decrypts it with the sender's public key. They can read it. They know it was encrypted with the sender's private key, thus proving that it was sent by the sender. So A, I like A.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Oh.
Oh.
That must have been one of Sean's 20.
Yeah, Marianne, you're in good company there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think whenever you see digital signature, I think they like to key on hashing.
Go back to that question one more time, though. Did they said integrity? Oh, they did say integrity. Integrity. Okay, so I guess that is the key word there, just like that other one.
Yeah. Which of the following should be disabled to increase security of wireless network against unauthorized access?
Well, if they don't already have C, then you would say A, but, hopefully they got C. They're saying increase, though. So if you didn't have C, you probably got no security. Huh?
Which feature do you want to disable? Is the trick of the
disable.
question.
Thank you, Sean. I would have failed this one.
Yeah, that's a good example of a question you need to read carefully.
I'm going to blame that on you, Clark, because you read it. I just didn't hear it right.
So double letters again.
I'm going with D. That is a great question, though, to be aware of, so thank you for that one.
Yeah.
Disable. This is why I'm going to fail.
Well, if we want to just kind of jump back to that one, just kind of look at each one of those. Would disabling the MAC address filtering increase security? No. Would disabling encryption increase security? No. Would disabling WPA2 increase security? No. Would disabling SSID increase security? Yes, because it would be more hidden. For man in the middle attack, I guess, which of the following encryption techniques will best protect a wireless network?
Which of the following? Man in the middle.
If we want to step through all four of these,
shared key.
If we want to step through all four of these.
Yeah, I would guess B, I guess, but I don't really know what a MAC-based pre-shared key is versus a regular pre-shared key, but maybe that is more secure than just a random one.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll go with B.
A, I know, 13 we know we can throw out because WEP is no good. D is not an encryption technique, and so we're left with B and C. And I'm thinking they're thinking MAC-based can be, since MAC addresses can be spoofed.
So maybe it is C because it's random, and you can't, so you can't predict what it's going to be.
That makes sense. So MAC meaning they're going to use like only limiting access to that network with a specific wireless card, and the first 6-8 characters of the 6 digits of the MAC address or something. Okay, makes sense. Did you get that one right, Sean?
No, I'm with you on whether the Mac-based PFKA was even a thing or not. So
I never heard of it. That's why I figured maybe that was the one. I guess I should have gone with gut.
Which of the following would be the most secure firewall system implementation? Mark should be all over this one. These are firewall.
Nothing about firewalls. This is a guaranteed sale for me then. Most secure firewall system. Screened host firewall. First of all, they're using a couple terms here that screened. I don't even heard of that term, so I guess I got to read the book.
It's like the screen on your screen door. It lets certain things through, and but it doesn't let the mosquitoes through, kind of thing. Yeah.
I got big holes in mine though, so let's see. Screen subnet firewall, dual home firewall. Well, I guess we'd have to go with D. I don't know.
When I'm looking at this, I think I can immediately throw out A because it's host-based, and I think I can throw out C because that's kind of a worthless answer, so I'm left with B and D.
I'm going with D for duh. No, what?
I think we have to give this one to Jerry.
This is the time to let you guys know I don't have to take this test till 2019. I just found out not too long ago. So, I mean 2020.
Yeah. Wow.
That was actually my
good
news of the month. I would have missed this one for sure.
That's why we're here.
A screen subnet firewall. Packet filtering. So they're saying packet filtering is better than packet filtering router, bastion host. Huh.
You ready?
I'll keep my mouth closed from now on.
No. We need you. An IS auditor should be most concerned about which of the following while reviewing the firewall. This is a good one to eliminate answers on, I think. I think you can throw out D right away. That one's kind of a worthless answer. And A is good, except they're redoing the firewall, not the policy. So we're left with B and C.
I don't know what secure algorithm would have to do with the firewall. Just throwing that out
Yeah, I
there.
think.
So I guess C.
Sound like we're leaning towards C. Yeah.
I might have gone with A if it was my gut, but you know, if I was falling blind, which I am.
Well, if you read it carefully too, I think C kind of builds on A. C is inclusive of A, I guess is another way to say it. You done with this one? During an audit of a telecommunication system, the IS auditor finds that the risk of intercepting data transmission. During an audit of a telecommunication system, the IS auditor finds that the risk of intercepting data transmitted to and from remote sites is very high. The most effective control for reducing this exposure is
A.
Callback modems.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I doubt it.
D would be a pretty effective control. Let's throw out the way that we're doing it and go back to the old way. I would say A.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm with you.
Lease lines being possibly the least secure method. Huh. Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
An IS auditor performing a telecommunication access control review should be primarily concerned with the. I thought this was a tough question.
B.
What did you say? Dog?
B.
Okay. You got it right. Good job.
Nice.
I think I've hit my quota for the day.
The IS management of a multinational company is considering upgrading its existing virtual private network to support VoIP communications via tunneling. Which of the following considerations should be primarily addressed? I think this is an easy question to key in on some of the key words in the question.
I'll go with A, just because I think they're already saying they're going to tunnel it. And QoS over tunneling might be, in the past, that's been challenging.
Yes, and you are right. And I think your analysis is spot on. And they're basically implying that because it's multinational, the voice quality might be flaky. Here's another one of those questions from the past, I think. Electromagnetic emissions from a terminal represent an exposure because they I can't even remember the last time I even saw a CRT.
I remember we used to sit at our desk in those Nextel phones when somebody would buzz over the, person-to-person walkie-talkie aspect. All of our monitors would just, go all squiggly. We'd be like, okay, what's this doing to our head? is not good.
Anyone want to stab at this one?
See.
He's being a funny guy now. I've seen questions like this in several different practice question courses.
Is this a, well, this isn't, yeah, I was going to say, well, are they asking about human safety in this question?
Apparently not.
And B.
Exposure can be detected and display. Are they saying that someone could set up a monitoring system and be able to decipher what was going on that terminal from the electromagnetic emissions? Is that what they're saying with D?
Yes, if you're close enough to one of those types of old CRTs, apparently there's things that can be done to eavesdrop on that signal.
I remember hearing something about that at some point in the long distant
Yes,
past.
30 years ago. Yeah.
All right, I hope I get that question.
What's that?
I said I hope I get that question because I won't forget that one.
Okay. Which of the following controls the best intrusion?
D?
Detect intrusion?
For
I think that's kind of an easy one if you key in on the detect. And I think somebody already said the answer. A hacker could obtain passwords without the use of computer tools or programs through the technique of keying in on
the
without
use of computer tools.
Yeah.
So
that would be correct. Although a social engineering is a tool of a hacker, so you could argue that too, I guess. And if everybody's done with that, we'll jump to 22. An organization's computer security incident response team would be responsible for which of the following tasks?
I would say third one.
Yeah, I think we key in on this one on incident response, and all the rest of them are kind of beforehand, and C is after the fact. So he is right. Good job. Although in a small organization, I mean, that might not necessarily be true, that last statement, but oh well. Which of the following does not help protection information assets on a peer-to-peer network? guess I should say, which of the following does not help protect information assets on a peer-to-peer network?
Well, no. I mean, are they indicating kind of D would not apply because they're all on the same network? I don't know.
I think I agree with that.
But I guess that means they don't need a firewall to protect them from the internet.
Yeah, I think when they're saying protect, another word you could say would be prevent. If we substitute prevent for protect on that question. You ready for the reveal?
The suspense is killing me. Let's go.
Okay.
So it was the first one? No, it is the last one, firewalls. Okay.
It was the sniffing was the one that does not.
Oh, the sniffing one.
Yeah. You can see right here the thing that's checked.
I don't know about that.
Well, I think they're saying sniffing is not preventive medicine.
I see what they're saying. Okay.
Instant messaging can introduce which of the following security risks into an organization's network? This should be an easy one.
Leakage.
Good job. It doesn't even need to be malware. They could just, send stuff out by accident. What is the key difference between mandatory access controls and discretionary access controls? I think this is a good question.
Is this a discretionary access controls? Is that a ISACA type section in the book?
I don't know if discretionary access control is something that is I don't think that's an ISACA proprietary term.
I don't know if I've heard that one, but I would guess A.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Good job. A spear phishing attack is best characterized by which of the following? I think it's another example of one of those questions that's easy, but you need to be careful when you read it.
The third one looks like it to me.
I would say you are right on.
And he is right on.
Woo! That's because we've had all that training in that.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
A computer attacker attempts to gain unauthorized access to an organization's network. She uses password cracking tools and keeps trying over and over and over and over again to gain access. Which of the following best describes this type of attack?
Third one.
Killing it right now.
I'm on fire.
I didn't like this question at all. Which of the following best describes a swipe card?
The second one? Because it's a magnetic strip. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's go with D.
Yes, I like that one. And it has stripes on it. The card has stripes on it. Oh, swipes.
I was struggling a little bit like this one on this one between B and C because I felt like C was inclusive of B, but maybe I'm being too modern on this question.
That one would be a chip, though, so I don't know if that would be a swipe. It'd be a dip.
Well, I guess it just depends on. You got to think real traditional in terms of swipe instead of inserting, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, you're a better man than me on that one.
So it was, which one did you click? Oh, B. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could swipe a chip, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Gotta be fast.
Or slow.
Classifying data should include which of the following definitions? This should be a gimme.
Well, for sure the owner. No, wait. Yeah, owner.
You're killing it.
None of the others made sense, so.
ABC Company's security policy dictates that all computer users must provide a password to access the wireless network. The security administrator wants to implement this company-wide policy. Which of the following tools would be used to accomplish this task?
Well, TACACS can be used for that, I think, but maybe they're looking for more of a specific or more of a general approach. I mean, I would go with A, I guess. That isn't
I think
TACACS, so that's mandatory. Maybe mandatory. Yeah, I guess mandatory.
You got it. And that
yeah, because that first one actually wasn't TACACS. They left out one of the C's. So TACACS.
And that concludes our list of questions there. Next week's agenda, there's the practice resources. Take more practice questions. Click all right there. I'll need to fix that.
Is next week, is that the last session next week?
Yeah, next week is the last section. Wait, next week, did somebody say next week was Good Friday?
Yes.
What, is that a holiday?
Yeah, if you look on the portal, It is listed as a stat holiday for all of our company, but I think it said also, follow the policy of your client. But typically what we've done is even if your client's working, talk to them about it. Say, hey, my company recognizes this as a stat holiday. If you need me, okay. Otherwise, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take some of the day off.
Okay.
So do we want to schedule it for next Friday, or do we need to bump it back to the following Friday?
Why don't we push it out if it's okay with everybody? I was hoping to spend a little bit of time with my son before he goes back to school.
Okay. All righty. Sounds good.
All right, you guys.
Okay,
Well, thank you for this. This was helpful.